Hey guys, this is Patty B within the Holler. I got another firearm I'd like to share with y'all. This is the Smith & Wesson Model 10, chambered in 38 Special. Make sure she's clear. Yeah, the Model 10's an all steel medium framed, a double single action 6-shot revolver, chambered in the venerable 38 Special. I recently just picked this up from my FFL dealer. He had a big turn in from a prison company, and I picked this up, and a Ruger Mini 14, got a pretty decent deal on them. So that was kind of cool. You know, there are a lot of police trade in on these things, and you can get some decent deals on these revolvers. You know, the history of the K-frame, for well, you know, that's the size of frame this is pretty long and extensive. You know, it came around the turn of the last century. Well, I guess not 23 years ago, but turn of the century, 123 years ago. You know, it's been called different names or whatever, but basically, you know, this revolver is, you know, over 120 years old in design. You know, lots of incremental changes throughout, but you know, its origin is you know, is that old. You know, growing up in the 80s, you know, when I was a kid, like all the cops and, you know, even the military used Smith & Wesson Model 10s. You know, it was kind of like the Glock 19 of its era. You know, good guys used it, bad guys used it, people to you know, defend their homes used it. It was just everywhere. I think especially after World War II, you saw probably, you know, more Smith & Wessons than Colts. Colts were more expensive, and the Smiths were a good, they were a good gun, and they were cheaper. So I think they became more popular definitely after Second World War. This particular version is a 4-inch heavy barrel. They did make thin barreled versions of these, but this has the heavy barrel, and this thing weighs 35.5 ounces on my scale. Some of the features on this, will start back here. Got this nice rubber grip. I'm not sure of the manufacturer, it doesn't really say, but you know, seems like a decent grip, feels pretty good. Can't complain about that. The blue finish on this is pretty nice. You can see that, you know, there's definitely some holster wear on this, but overall the finish is looking really good. The controls on this, like every other Smith, cylinder latch, push it forward, and you can take your cylinder out. The trigger on this, pretty nice. Double action. You can just pull fairly heavy, but nice and smooth, pretty well. And single action is incredibly good. That thing is really light. I haven't measured it, but boy, it's pretty light. The sights on this, I think they're a little unique on this. I'm not an expert on these, so I don't know all the variations, but typically the front sight is milled into the barrel, but this one has a replaceable sight. You can see a little pin right there. If you don't like the 3-dot sights that this came with, you can go ahead and replace it. I haven't seen any of these on other ones before, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Maybe they were common. It just seems like most of these front sights were milled on in and not replaceable. And then the rear sight, it's just a gutter, but you can see 2 faint white dots, which is kind of unique. You just don't really see 3-dot sights on a, you know, a revolver like this. But definitely pretty neat. I've only shot this just enough to make sure it functions. So taking it out today is going to be a whole lot of fun, running this through the paces, because I just really enjoy shooting 38 Special, and I really like Smith & Wesson revolvers. So, I mean, hey, what could go wrong? But we'll take this thing outside, ring a bunch of steel, and you know, come back in and tell you what I think about this thing. All right, back here at 10 yards, we'll see what this is hitting for us. I've got some super cheap Tula 38 Special. We'll see how it runs, because in a lot of revolvers, you know, that steel case doesn't want to extract, but see what this thing's hitting for us. Little sticky, but not bad. Love the 38 Special. All right, up here on the deck, those targets are about 15 yards away. We'll keep shooting double, see what we can do. All right, yeah, that steel extracts not quite as good as brass, but it's good enough for plinking, and yeah, this thing's shooting well. All right, let's try the 25-yard plate, still shooting double, see if we can get some hits. Yeah, not too bad. The double action, like most of them, it's a little heavy, but it's smooth, and you got good trigger control. You can make your hits. All right, we'll try that 40-yard plate with double. Might be a little tough, but see what we can do. Yeah, I missed a couple, but not too bad. Just a pleasure to shoot. The K-frame is so balanced. Not too big, not too small. Kind of like Goldilocks, just right. A lot of fun to shoot. All right, we'll take some shots at that 60-yard plate. I'm gonna go single action. Maybe we can get some hits. Hey, not too bad. I'll take that every day. This thing's shooting pretty nice. Recoil 38 special, so it's not much. Of course, the rubber grip helps a little bit. Just really pleasant to shoot, and not a bad value when you get these things on a police trade-in. You get a quality firearm for not a whole lot of money. All right, we're back inside from shooting the Model 10. Make sure she's clear. And man, it was just a blast. It was just so much fun to shoot 38 Special out of a quality revolver. 38 Special is so versatile to where you can shoot super soft loads or super hot loads, and this thing will eat them all up, and just a whole lot of fun. This example, it got a really good trigger. The double action feels pretty good, and the single action is, man, it's nice. I have a new model Python, and the single action on this beats my Python. Now the Python has a better double action for sure, but this single action is better than my new Python. When you get these for not that much money on police trade-ins, they're just a really good deal on a really quality firearm and just a whole lot of fun. So, if you see one of these somewhere on a police trade-in, man, I just don't even know how you could go wrong. And I know 38 Special is a little more expensive than 9mm these days, but if you hand load, you can load these for next to nothing. This 38 is just easy and cheap to hand load. But yeah, this thing's just a blast and a piece of history. This one is a Model 10-10. Which I think places it in the late 80s to through the mid 90s. So not too old in Model 10 standards, but sure seems like a quality piece and a whole lot of fun to shoot. The K-frame, with the 4-inch barrel, it's just the right size, the right balance. Big but not too big, small but not too small, and just a blast to shoot. Really like taking these things out and shooting them. So, well, there you go, guys. Smith & Wesson Model 10 38 Special. Y'all have a nice day.